is still with us. Eamon, to what extent do you think the president would not have been announcing the word deal to suggest that a phase one deal is complete unless he was very confident it would be done? Or is this par for the course that he's happy to backtrack if necessary at a later date?
Well, look, this is a president who has an element of showmanship to this presidency, and this is a president who likes announcements. This is a president who likes the stock market and wants it to be higher. So all of those give you a sense that the president has a lot of incentive here to demonstrate that he has been successful. And we're getting just some squibs now from Kayla in the Oval Office, who's suggesting that they will negotiate a phase two part of this deal after the phase one part of the deal. She's saying that both elements will have some tech transfer elements to them, and there may be a phase three if they can't get everything done in phase two. Also saying that Secretary Mnuchin is discussing a currency pledge and says, quote, an almost complete agreement on currency and financial services. So an almost complete agreement from Secretary Mnuchin, who's also saying that there is an agreement around transparency in foreign exchange. Again, all this coming from Kayla, who's in the room and communicating with us. And so we don't have the specifics until those are rolled out by the White House and the Treasury Department. But it seems like what the president is indicating here is he's going to take several bites at the apple. A phase one deal, a phase two deal, a phase three deal, maybe something on currency early, maybe something on foreign exchange early, maybe more elements to be rolled out over the course of time. So it sounds like what the president is suggesting here is that they've got an agreement to at least start agreeing on some things. And so we'll see where it goes from there, and we'll wait some more details, and we'll wait the tape playback of the president saying everything that he's saying right now.
Yeah, one wonders what bargaining power is remaining if phase one and two are done, if you can get much at phase three. But Eamon, thanks. Stick close. Let us know when you have more. We slipped about 130 points from the high of 519 points on the Dow, which was about 5 or 6 minutes ago, down below 400 points of gains, now back above 400, 404, but 100 points or so off the highs of the session. Still a healthy gain, 1.4, 1.5% for the major markets. We're joined on the phone by Eurasia Group Head of Asia Practice, Michael Hirson, who, of course, has been with us a number of times in recent past. Michael, thanks for joining us. What's your take on what's dripping out of this meeting?
I think so far this meets expectations in terms of what we know, and admittedly it's not that much yet, but the broad outlines seem pretty much as expected, and I think the real question right now is how much momentum will there actually be to get to phase two and phase three?
From what you've heard from the headlines, and we know they're fairly bare bones at this point, do you feel like the U.S. has had to make any major concessions, or is it China that did that? How did they get where they are now based on the little information that we know?
It's a great question. I don't think either side, to be honest, has really made very deep concessions. For the Chinese side, it's probably mostly one of pride. I think the currency agreement is probably a bit less than meets the eye. Both sides really have an interest in maintaining the basic stability of the currency. So this reduces some of the tail risks around the currency and the tensions in this area, but I don't view this as really a fundamental breakthrough.
Michael, Kayla Tausche just letting us know that Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin has confirmed that the tariff hike on the 15th of October will not go forward. Is that more or less than you were expecting?
That is, I think, the bare minimum of what the Chinese would have demanded as part of the concessions that they're making. It's interesting that there has been no mention yet of the tariff hike on December 15th, which shows how much determination there is, I think, on the U.S. side to really use tariffs to maintain leverage over Beijing and have them implement the commitments they're making, or perhaps to hold their feet to the fire on subsequent negotiations.
Mike, what's your take in terms of where we're settling? 410 points on the Dow.
Yeah, I think the idea that there's a phase two and we haven't heard about December tariffs probably, look, we're still on the same treadmill. I think heart of hearts, the market wanted to not have to worry about the next bit of progress. So if, in fact, we're just going to get something short-term. By the way, if this looks like the May deal that we walked away from when the S&P was at 2940, here we are at, 2978. Not clear why we should get overly excited about where we're headed if, in fact, those are the elements of what we're agreeing to right now.
Let's get back to Eamon Javers, who has more for us. Eamon?
Wilfred, I just want to spotlight something that Kayla is reporting from inside the Oval Office as we're talking about what it is that we're looking at here. Kayla reporting that the president has said that this is a substantial phase one deal subject to getting it written. And the president saying it'll take about 3 weeks to write this deal, and it will conclude around that trip to Chile in mid-November. We also have some headlines crossing here from Dow Jones. Treasury Secretary Mnuchin saying the discussions are almost complete. The president saying good progress on technology transfer discussions with China. The president also saying progress made on currency and foreign exchange. So what you have here is the president and the Treasury Secretary saying things are almost complete. We're getting there. It's encouraging. Here are some of the elements we're discussing, but we don't have a written deal, and we won't have it likely for about 3 weeks. So the president suggesting that they have come to a substantial phase one deal, but that deal still has to be written. I think we just need to bear that in mind as we sort through what exactly we know at this very minute.